Welcome to New Mexico Black Rifle Operators Union. I'm your host, Sean. Tonight from Timcast, Biden, my legislation says there can be no more than 8 bullets in a round, okay? So, yet again, we see people from the left attacking the 2A. Specifically, I think he's talking about magazines. And this on the heels of another shooting, quote unquote, mass shooting. Um, so, where's my problem? Where do I begin with my problems? Let me count the ways. I'm just being hyperbolic there, but first off, more than 8 bullets in a round in a magazine. So, if we have more than 8 bullets in a magazine, whether that's a rifle or a pistol, that's kind of contrary to even some of the most restrictive state laws across the nation. Um, where I have multiple problems with this. One is yet again, it's someone speaking out of their butt that knows nothing about the 2A. And when I say that, I mean that I know that Biden's in cognitive decline. There we go. However, this, if that's cognitive decline that he says something this gibberish, okay. For you leftists, if you're watching this so you can gain information and go attack people and come after me or whoever else, I don't think I'm that important, but let's talk about this from the leftist perspective. Um, First, when you tell us that we should know science or something like that, um, perhaps you should know something about the subject. A bullet and a round are one and the same. So you have 8 bullets in one round. The only thing I know that's kind of close to that would be a shotgun, but Sleepy Joe's the one that actually said everyone should have a shotgun. They don't need an assault rifle, they need a shotgun. Which is why, to the 2A community, that made absolutely no sense, because now you're telling people to put out even more rounds in close areas which aren't as aimed, let's put it that way, as a rifle round or a pistol round would be. So it makes no sense. He's also the one that said that you should go out and put a blast of a 12 gauge off your back porch and that'll scare everyone away, or off your front porch. Let's be real, shooting a gun in the air, period, is a bad plan. What goes up must come down. But this speaks to the left and what has driven me nuts for years. You cannot have a conversation with people that have no clue what the hell they're talking about, yet believe so earnestly that they're correct. Okay? Are you talking about magazines, Joe? If you're talking about magazines, we can have a conversation. You're wrong, because standard capacity is 30 or 100 rounds, based on rifles. And I'm just being an absolutist there. Pistols, what will ever fit into a pistol? What the gun designers manufactured the magazine to be. Case in point, in the 5.56, the AR, the most demonized rifle in the United States, the one that everybody owns because everyone has it because it's so easily used, so readily available, and so readily purposed built for what you need it to do. Ergonomically, as much as I'm not a fan of some of the ergonomics, if you're a Western shooter, they absolutely are what was designed for a Western shooter. Every Western shooter knows how to use an AR-15. You can say that's bad, that they're so available, but I would say that's a good thing, because if anything, you can usually aim an AR-15 a hell of a lot more easily than a 12 gauge or a pistol, which means you're going to end the threat faster, which means you're going to put less rounds of ammunition out. So it doesn't make as much sense to me. Plus, you have less recoil. And once you take a new shooter out and have them shoot a pistol or a rifle or a shotgun, and you see what their response is accordingly, you will find 9 times out of 10 they're a better shooter with a rifle. So while he's talking out his backside again about banning stuff by fiat, because that's what they're doing. If you hadn't heard, in December, they're looking at changing the gun brace for AR pistols and AK pistols, or any rifle caliber pistol, quote unquote. They're going to change it to where you can't actually legally own them. And they're doing this not by congressional approval, which would be voter approval, basically. No, by executive fiat. They're doing an end run around the Constitution, just like Trump did by using the WTF to go after a perfectly legal item that doesn't change the function, fit, or finish of a gun. But American gun laws are stupid anyway. Free men don't ask permission. And he touts in this article that he was behind one of the key voices behind the 1994 crime bill and assault weapons ban. For those of you that don't know, that has since sunsetted because it had zero effect on crime, or negligible effect on crime. Their own statistics prove that out. Banning assault weapons now, assault is an action. It is not a descriptor of the weapon. I say this often enough that a gun is metal, steel, and plastic. It takes intent from something or someone else to make the gun do bad stuff. So while they're trying to get us into another war, they're trying to disarm the American populace. Now, I bring this up again, and this is a reoccurring theme because we're always under attack if you're in the 2A community. Sadly, it's true. We're demonized by the media, by everyone, just for trying to exercise our rights and try to be left alone and do our thing. With this, I had a very weird encounter Saturday. And it brings up an ever-increasing problem we're having in San Juan County, and we're having in multiple areas across the country. I had someone come up to my vehicle, motion for the window to go down, which I didn't let it down, which made the person more insistent. And then they started screaming not screaming, yelling, being very loud because they assume I couldn't hear through my glass of my window, that they wanted me to give them a ride. And I said no, and he said, yeah, you're going to give me a ride. And then he reached for my door handle, which instantaneously caused me to, all in one motion, unbuckle my seatbelt and move my hand towards a position where I could draw if I needed to. Now, I don't want to say I'm John Wayne and that I'm looking for stuff like this, but this is why I have trained as much as I have. Luckily, the guy saw that move, and it was enough to go away. But what would have happened if that was someone less prepared, less aggressive? This guy picked me because I was, a little stubbly guy, I guess. Hispanic, similar in color. So he thought maybe there was a camaraderie that I would just, let some stranger into my vehicle. Never mind the fact that I'm wearing an AK Operators Union hoodie. You can definitely tell by my mannerism that I'm probably not one of those guys you want to mess with like that. I say that I am a very soft-spoken person, or I try to be. but I am very well trained at doing this stuff. And thanks to tough CCW, um, being in a situation like that with a car or a truck, I'm not afraid. In fact, I didn't. When I told someone about this and I said that I changed posture. I didn't. All I literally did was get rid of the thing that was going to restrain me if I had to act, and make sure that my hand was free to go where it needed to go in the fastest way possible. From there, things would have gotten very real and very sporting very rapidly. But that motion, as rapid as it was enough to make him hesitate, look back down at me, see that I wasn't joking anymore, wasn't moving, wasn't flinching, wasn't doing nothing, was waiting for his next move, is enough. And Sonny Pazukas has spoken about this. Respectful is different to different people. You don't have to be sweet to be respectful. So, they keep wanting to disarm you, and I keep saying stay strapped or get clapped because, like I said, this is the third time this has happened this year in Little Farmington, New Mexico. Now, some people will say that is because of weed being legalized lately. No, it's happened to me before, at least 3 or 4 more times throughout the years in San Juan County. And what it usually is from drunks and inebriates. And as the economy has taken a downturn, we'll see more drunken inebriates. And we're seeing that right now. And there's not a real good plan here on what to do with them. Like, share, subscribe, rumble, be great, and most importantly, lately, stay strapped or get clapped.